Hello everybody. Containment Construct is still the source of our focus. It is the final color series. This is mono black Containment Construct. And we got two of them up front, so that should work, right? It's my first time using Evolved Sleeper in a deck. We'll see how he's kind of the mana dump. If I have extra mana and nothing better to do with it, I will use it on him. Containment Construct, Kamigawa card, artifact creature. Whenever you discard a card, you can X out from your graveyard, and if you do, you can play it. So if we discard a land and we haven't played a land, we can play the land. And he's getting that out before we can get our Containment Construct out. I'm going to lose a land. That is disgusting. Our whole purpose is that if they have discard, we can get around it. Although really it's tough without instants. When we discard these, we can't play those on his turn. This is going to be one of the artifact decks, right? Which means we have to worry about 3 more of those. Yeah. Yeah, come on through. Alright, thankfully we got another land, so we need to get rid of this guy now before he starts making 3/1s. Autopay! And then we can just attack with what we got. We've done all the previous colors. We did white, green, blue, and red, and I think red has been my favorite so far. The synergies with the red cards actually worked out really, really well. And then after that, I think was white was fun. And then I'd probably rate it blue and green. Black has been frustrating to playtest. I ended up with 68 cards. Or 64, I think, right? Yeah, 64 cards. Let's see. What do we want to do here? I guess we'll do a flyer. And we'll pump up the Evolved Sleeper now, and we'll sit tight. Get rid of the sleeper before anything more can happen to him. And we're not blocking that. And we're not blocking that. That's a lot of Containment Construct. Okay, so we're going to discard a card and draw a card. We'll use Construct's ability to cast a Construct. And so we get 1 free card draw out of it. We still get to play the card. We just advanced a little bit further through our deck. I do need some land. Not blocking the Virus Beetle. And they didn't give me land, so what do I get rid of? I'm just going to bring down somebody else for now. No attacks. I need to get rid of that artifact before he uses it. The problem is, this only works on enchantments, planeswalkers, and creatures. And so maybe because I have the 4 extra cards, I need to put in an extra land or 2. I really don't want to lose battles just because I'm not drawing my lands. Ragged Recluse. He kills Raven Man. That's good, because I get a blood token. But he's just building an army of weenies. And all my guys happen to be 2/1s, which I didn't plan on. It's just the way that the black cards are that happen to be associated with discarding cards. Finally. The second one, great. So now he has the way to kill Sheoldred. He just needs to wait for one turn. All right. What are we going to do? Okay. We're going to discard Braids. We'll get our card draw out of it. Get our life gain out of it. And we play Braids. Then we do nothing. We transform Ragged Recluse. And we're going to sacrifice what? Sacrifice one of those. Get a blood token back. Somebody died and he loses 2 life. But now I can use Dragon Spark Reactor against both me and Sheoldred. Get another blood token. Does not attack. Okay. Well, in that case, I know you don't have any planeswalkers. It would have been nicer if I'd have had Sheoldred with it, but oh well. Next, we attack with Odious Witch. All they do is chump block. Good. Things have kind of turned for us. Feeling good. Let's see. Let's sacrifice an artifact. There we go. Now Blood Tithe Harvester is less of a risk. Is this removal of some sort? Who's he going to get rid of? The Bloodcaster. Okay. Can I do anything about that? I don't think so. Just like that, I kind of look like I'm in trouble again. Yeah. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6. This should be just right. I'm going to discard a card, get a card draw out of it, play the card, and let's do this. We'll cut you down, and I'll play another card. I'll attack with Odie Switch. Should be willing to trade off by now. We get an Odie Switch back through Ragged Recluse, and we sacrifice an artifact, so they choose on if they're going to lose their Dragon Spark Reactor. No, they choose to lose 2 life and let me draw a card. They have their own Bloodcaster finally. And they are on defense. So, sacrifice somebody else, please. That should be a game. Ta-da! Whew, it worked! Alright, let's go look at the deck. It's different from all the others. Oh, and I got my 15th win for the day. Let's see what we've got. An offer you can't refuse. I think I already had 4 of those. That's okay. Moving on. Let me take this opportunity to remind you to like and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. Okay, so we got 4 copies of Containment Construct, as always. I'm going to sort of mix these up. I'm going to move aside the cards that I had to add just for removal. And they're going to be in their own column here. We have the concept cards, and then we have removal cards. But I tried to make the removal cards make sense. Hang on, that goes there. Those are all going in one column. Let's see, anything else? I think that was it. Okay, so and then we have a little outlayer with Dusk Mangler there, which we may never get to draw. Anyway, okay, so we want to discard, we want to be able to have enough mana to afford everything, so I'm going to go ahead and add in one more there because we were at 64 and we were missing a land drop. So we'll have 25 lands. Mana is 2.8 average with 21 creatures. It's kind of cheap on the creatures, but we had to add all of this removal in order to survive. If I didn't have the perfect opening hand against people, they would just wipe me out with whatever they put out. And that's one of the weaknesses of Black. Not just that they have trouble with enchantments and artifacts, both, but that their creatures, generally speaking, especially with related to this theme that were relevant for me, they're very weak. They're like toughness 1, almost all of them. So, alright. So we got 1 Evolved Sleeper. He's my mana dump. If I have extra lands and nothing better to do with him, I'll pump him up. I've got 1 Dakushi Silencer with Ninjutsu, so I can fly over their head with one of my flyers, hit them, bring Silencer down, discard a creature card, and destroy whatever creature that I don't like on their battlefield. If I've got Containment Construct down, I can still cast that creature card as well, so I don't lose the creature card. I can discard it to activate Silencer and then bring it back onto the battlefield right away. I've got Heirloom Mirror. You pay life, discard a card, then you draw a card, mill a card, and put a ritual counter until eventually you have a 4/4 flyer. We can't do anything about milling the card. We'd still lose that. But if we wait till Containment Construct is out, whenever we discard a card, we can like discard a land and play our land for free. And that way we avoid the penalty involved with the mirror and maybe make it worth playing finally. We have Ragged Recluse at the beginning of your end step. If you discarded a card this turn, transform. So, you know, even if Containment Construct's not out, we can transform this and get an Odious Witch out of it. We have 2 copies of the legendary Wizard Raven Man at the beginning of the end step. If a player discarded a card this turn, you create a little 1/1 Blackbird creature token. And we can make them a discard, but that's not really related to the Containment Construct. But we're probably going to discard more with this deck than most other decks, so Raven Man made sense. We have, for the Flyers, Voldaren Bloodcaster. This helps me with powering up Dokuchi Silencer. Also, Blood Tokens. Blood Tokens are going to help us to draw and discard at our will. In the meantime, that also works with Braid's Arisen Nightmare, because Black traditionally has a problem with artifacts, but at the end of each turn, you can choose to sacrifice an artifact. If we have a surplus of blood tokens, we can sacrifice those, and the opponent is either going to lose their artifact finally, which is important when we're going up against Brothers War right, in the meta right now, or at least they'll lose 2 life and we'll get to draw a card out of it. We've got 2 copies of Dying to Serve. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. It only triggers once each turn, but if I've got both enchantments out at the same time, with 1 discard I can get 2 of those zombies. It's too bad they're tapped, but oh well. 3 Morbid Opportunist, because I'm expecting to lose a lot of my cheap creatures, so let's get some card draw out of it. And we've got some removal now, so we can remove some of theirs. And we definitely need card draw. We've got Liliana of the Veil. Each player discards a card. This works really well with Containment Construct. With black in particular, you tend to empty your hand fast, so we might not have anything to discard. But if we do, you know, if we got an extra land that we haven't played during our turn, we can easily just do that. I wish I had more of her. I only have 1 copy of her right now. We have Network Terminal, like in all of our decks with Containment Construct, to force the discard if we don't have any blood tokens. And a copy of Celestis, only 1 instead of 2, because in the other decks I noticed I'd end up with an extra Celestis in my hand a lot of the time. So we're just 1 this time. We've got 1 copy of Bloodsworn Squire. You discard a card and Squire gains Indestructible. If we can have Containment Construct out on the field, whatever we discard, we can get right back. So there's absolutely no trade-off involving playing Bloodsworn Squire. The problem is she's kind of expensive at the 4-drop, and I can't fit too many in. I've got 1 Shieldred, so I'm using Shieldred. This is nice because I have a lot of discard and draw effects in this deck, so whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life, and we desperately need life gain. So Shieldred's a natural fit with Containment Construct, actually. We have 1 copy of Edgar's Awakening. We can return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield, so a way to get Shieldred back. Or if we use it to discard and draw type of thing, when we discard Edgar's Awakening, for just 1 mana, we can get something out of our graveyard, but back to our hand instead of the battlefield. And final creature, Duskmangler. Additional cost to cast a spell, you sacrifice a creature or discard a card. And if Containment Construct is out, we don't care, because we'll probably just engineer it so that we discard a land and play a land for free. So there's no penalty, no additional cost really for playing Duskmangler when you have a construct on the battlefield. Okay, now the problem is we can't have a deck like that and just fill it up with extra Dokuchi Silencers and extra Bloodsworn Squires. It's not going to work because our enemy is going to have too many. You know, we've got, how many creatures do we have that have toughness 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 13 of our creatures only have toughness of 1. So that's a problem. So we really need these different removal spells. We have 1 Cut Down, 1 Whack, which helps us against white players. 3 Assassin's Ink, which if we get down our Dying to Serve and our Celestis, they'll become cheap, so they only cost 2 black instead of 4 mana. We've got 3 Invoke Despairs, because we need to have some way to get rid of Planeswalkers and enchantments. And we have 4 March of Wretched Sorrows, which gives us some flexibility on individual removal, and a little bit of life gain. So we've got a little bit more life gain possibilities in this deck than in other decks, right? We've got Odious Witch, which can give us a life possibly. We've got the Celestis, which has been our life gain in the other decks. We've got Shieldred, and we've got 4 March of the Wretched Sorrows. So that's the deck. And we're going to go right into another match. So all of the other decks that I've done have been centered around the idea of really getting to Containment Core fast, so keeping a very strict 60 card limit. I couldn't find a way to do that and be effective with black. Black really needs that. The star of the color black is their removal capabilities, so they definitely need it. And it just so happens that all of these cards that synergize with the Containment Construct are all these 2/1 creatures. So I either need to abandon part of the concept, you know, or I need to bite the bullet and say, okay, I need to stack extra stuff in here just to remove things. The way the meta is right now, mill is not really on anybody's mind. It was powerful for a while, and then we had stuff rotate out with the September rotation, so gone are powerful cards like Maddening Cacophony and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And I guess the only removal we have is Liliana, and Tovolar gives them card draw, so
I'll have this fight finished before
you're gonna have to get rid of Tovolar.
Sacrifices must be made.
So mill has kind of fallen out of favor. And instead of mill, we now have self-mill. That's kind of what a lot of people are doing. I don't want to make anybody discard yet. That's fine. Okay, here we go. Okay, Containment Construct comes out. Now we make them discard. We're going to discard our land.
I'm tired of your secrets.
And while they think of what to discard, they're discarding a land too, but we're going to get ours back. And now we can also afford to play... Oh, and they scoop! We just beat a werewolf deck. What in the world? That's beautiful. Okay, now, since we've had a couple of wins, we should automatically lose, right? I am not used to werewolves giving up that fast. They usually got lots of cheap cards. They had no problem with their land draw. They had extra land they were discarding. They could afford to discard land, so I guess they just couldn't handle losing 2 creatures in a row. It was a little weird. Jetmir's Garden. Okay, so they're going to want to create a lot of creatures fast. And we cannot suffer you to live. Submit 0, kill you now, auto pay. I'm sure you'll come up with some disgusting threat next turn. It'll be fine. Oh, nothing. You did nothing? Okay. Shoot, what do I do? Ragged Recluse. At least get something on the board. If he's going to remove it, I'd rather he remove Recluse than the Containment Construct. So he's the canary in the coal mine. He's the most expendable. March of Otherworldly Light. So we were both playing with the marches, huh? Thundering Raiju. Crap. I need a land for sure. Okay, got it. That gets rid of you. Can't really afford another one of those so soon. I hope he doesn't have 4 of those in the deck. Is it alternative art? Black Market Tycoon. Okay. Do we have a turn to handle stuff? Let's try putting out a 3/3 versus his 2/2. We might have to put up with discarding stuff to keep him alive. Rabble rousing. Gross. It's a nice way for him to scale up fast. Okay, so containment construct, dying to serve. And there's Jetmir already. Whew, how's that for timing? You can't do nothing against that. What are you pausing for? Alright, we're just about out of ammo. He's taken the damage to create the treasure. Does he have another Jetmir he needs to cast? He doesn't need... He already had the right land, right? Yeah. Ah. It gives him trample. We're blocking. We didn't have enough free mana to activate his indestructible ability. Alright. We use the blood token on the land. We get the zombie token. We get the blood token. Or not, yeah. And we still get to play the land. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's what we want. And artifact. That's an enchantment, not an artifact. So now what can we do? Not much. Let's sacrifice our enchantment. I'm betting they don't want to lose theirs, so they're going to take the life and let me draw a card. Called it. They've got an army of 4, and me with a bunch of 2/1s mostly. And I didn't convince them to get rid of Rabble Rouse. They've got 2 of them now. Crap. And they've got more life than us. So they can afford to send everybody on a suicide run. And I can't really afford to lose my guys. Yep. See, did I mention I have a problem with my toughness of my creatures? And he gets another Jetmir. Wow. Okay, so they didn't leave me a choice there, did I? I'm just gonna die everywhere. It doesn't help that he had the second one so handy so quickly. Heirloom Mirror is going to be useless here. So yeah, this mixes in with the red colors too, but the green and white is usually what helps them the most. Alright, let's try that again. I haven't run up against a deck like that in a long time, so the Magic algorithm is finding some very interesting challenges for mono black to do. Especially with the cards that it's detecting in my deck. The way to beat it, it goes wide and cheap. Because with all my 2/1s, even their cheap is still going to be tougher than mine. And look how long it's taking to find one more opponent. Wow. So anyway, what I was talking about the meta earlier, mill's falling out of favor. Self-mill is kind of big right now. That's Wizards of the Coast does that occasionally to emphasize one aspect of the game and de-emphasize another aspect of the game. You might be tired of facing discard decks, but self-discard is usually only seen in creature resurrection decks. So this is a different type of self-discard deck. And I thought it was an interesting thing worth trying. So I think it's safe to bring out the Containment Construct. At least he allows it. What next? Let's try the Ragged Recluse. He lets it go. Alright. White and blue means that, oh, hello. Yeah, white usually has things like that.
I hope you're ready to lose. Keep watch for intruders.
Okay. One of those is going to get through. I'm not sure why they wasted a Planeswalker so quickly. I don't want to use that. I just make that trade.
I'm never done for good.
Let's put that down in case they have a spell that kills my Containment Construct, and we've got one to spare, so we'll do that too. Depopulate. Not cool, man.
Faced with tragedy, even observers need to take action. Now that is an interesting fact. Not backing down. Much to consider.
He's just gonna get... I don't have nearly enough power nearly fast enough to take out his Planeswalker. I need a removal spell. I'm not getting it. And he's even outpacing me on the lands. He didn't get rid of anything. He didn't find a Planeswalker, but didn't want to get rid of anything either. Oh wait, that does... I'm so silly. Shoot. If I can get through to him,
Relax.
that I can use
This
that
is
to
supposed
destroy
to
the
be fun.
Planeswalker.
Knowledge is meant to be shared.
Ouch. May have missed my chance. I really need removal now, don't I? What are you thinking about? Gross. And all I get is a land. Discard a card. Take advantage. Get a creature out of it. Play that. Play that. At the end of the turn, no attacks. We've got an artifact and an enchantment. Let's get rid of this creature. Sacrifice it. They have to lose one of theirs. I'm assuming they'll lose the token. Or they're just going to lose 2 life and let me draw a card. Oh, they actually agree to get rid of Urza. Wow. Alright, in the meantime... Oh, wait. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll just get rid of that. I don't really need to hold on to my Fields of Ruin that much. Eight mana and 5 cards. That's a lot of potential options. It's not enough, he needs more.
I am here to learn. Who's that handsome devil?
Can you imagine teaming him up with Mordenkainen? Ugh. Repair and recharge.
Run away. You'll be safer. Remember your
Ouch.
training.
And they exile that. Gross.
You are not much of a roadblock.
Alright. And they have Vigilance too? I didn't know they had Vigilance as well. That's terrible. You gotta wait forever for the blue control players. Okay, we're just gonna get out of here. They're taking forever. They had the advantage. I wasn't drawing any of my spells to remove planeswalkers. So that raises an interesting question. If I don't have enough stuff, can I do a search spell in here? That's one experiment that's worth doing. If I can get the Phyrexian Missionary out of my way. There, search your library for a card. Alright. If the correct removal spell isn't in my hand, then maybe I'll have the option to go search for the one I need. We'll try this out and see if the card shows up one last time. And hopefully we get somebody that doesn't take forever just on one creature summoning. It's really strange, even for the blue control players, for me to see them taking forever to consider something when they're so obviously, you know, you got 2 planeswalkers on the field. You got a 6/6 on the field. You're doing good. Okay, we got a 1-drop. They give us the most expensive card, which is what I'm used to having happen. I haven't seen him in a while. With the way that... Oh, hello. They must be afraid of the 1-drops. Alright. Let's try this. We don't have a lot to work with right now. We definitely gonna need a lot of land. Look at all these colors he has. We're playing against a 5 color deck. We had Liliana next. Too bad for me. That means this was probably the wrong play then. Oh well. What are we waiting for? Oh. He just blinked him? That's it? Why would you just blink it for just that card? I don't get it. Anyway, we have the right removal for this one. And we will attack after all. That feels like a waste to save 2 points. You could have done something different. Okay. Let's go look for a card. Five, right? Invoke Despair seems like a good card. No attacks. He's going to get to do 6 points of damage on me because I am not blocking. The question is, does he put out some disgusting 1/1 creature next? I don't want to waste an Invoke Despair. He didn't put out anything? Alright. Lose your creature. Lose some other stuff. Yeah. Fierce Retribution. Okay. Thankfully I have another one. Okay, what do we want to do? We want to put down this. And we want to put down this. And we want to wait and see if something more interesting comes down. Nothing. Okay, that's perfect. That's the way we want it. Let's see. Return a creature from our hand. We could get the Evolved Sleeper back. Okay, so we discard the land and get a tapped zombie out of it. We activate the construct to save the land. We will get back Morbid Opportunist. We will play the land, and at the beginning of the end step, if a player discarded a card, which we did, we're going to get something out of it. That's what I call a good turn. And that's how a Containment Construct works. That's how he's supposed to work. Except we're losing everybody. To a board wipe. Okay. Morbid Opportunist will come down. And Bloodcaster. And I'm actually going to hold on to that. What are they holding on to in their hands? We will attack. Ah. Say goodnight, Gracie. I'll take a card draw out of that. Raven Man. Oh, this is perfect. I can get a bird. I can use the bird to get Duskmangler out without a Containment Construct. I don't care that you took that one. That was the wrong one to take. Lose a car. Xander. Nice. Now we use this. Get the bird. The bird is awesome. Okay. Oh, I don't get to use my Dusk Mangler? We got to use the search card and it worked for us. So I'm keeping it in. And that's the way the final deck list will be. And it will be published below in the YouTube text. And we will open it up and take one final look at the deck. And that was going to be the final one I did with Containment Construct, but while I was fooling around making a red deck, I came up with a colorless deck. So there's actually going to be 6 entries into the Containment Construct series. So make sure you come back and see what we do when we're an all artifact deck, because that's what's coming up next. So this has been Travis from Tpull's Corner. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good one.